Well, we're expecting our first major snowfall starting Sunday evening through Monday and Tuesday of next week. It's probably not going to amount to too many inches of snow, but it's the first appreciable snow that we'll get, and most likely it'll be the base of snow that sits here for the next 3 to 4 months. So I'm going around my property today making sure that I have it all taken care of and ready to go for months of snow. So I'll show you some of the things I do to get my yard prepared for the winter months. So my home is on the shores of Lake Winnipesaukee, and it is viewed by many as a home that's just partially lived in throughout the year. In our case, we live here year-round, but that being said, I still prep it for the winter months as if I was just as if this home was just a summer retreat type thing. I would say 90% of the homes on this lake are unoccupied for at least 6 months of the year. But again, in regards to winterizing a home, whether you're there or not, I like to do some work on the outside to ensure that we don't have a lot of work to do in the springtime. Number one, as you can see, all the leaves that have come down from these trees have all been raked, taken care of, and removed. So I don't have to worry about any rot of the grass in the springtime. The other thing is, because we live on a lake, we have a large dock system. There's just one portion of it that we've taken out, and way over there, you can see it, we've got the remaining 6 or 7 sections. So those come out late September typically, and we store them away right on the shorefront, and that's all we really do there. Again, I just make sure that there's not a pile of leaves all laying in it. I stack the decking boards one on top of the other in a kind of neat format to make sure we don't have too much rot or decay from snow just sitting all over the boards. They're just really sitting on top of one layer of boards. All the pipes that are used to put the dock in are just stacked up there neatly. I also have my fire pit ready to go, because during the winter months we still may use it. So besides this nice stash of wood over there, I've also got fire all set to go when I'm ready to light it up. And for our bunkhouse, which is just kind of like a nice little retreat to get away from the main house, what I've done here is we have plexiglass that I've fastened to the door. They can easily come off just with those little wing screws. I can sit there and take them off very easily. But that's all I really do for that. Everything else stays nice and dry inside, not a big issue. Another thing I've done is I've put in stakes to outline where the driveway is. And I do that to make sure we don't have our plow, or even me snow blowing, ripping into the lawn. I try to snow blow as much of the time as possible, but in the event I'm out traveling, the plow can come in and know where to not drop his blade. Here's my beehive. The other one failed this year, but this one here is all live and well, and I have that insulated. I have 1-inch rigid foam insulation around it with black tar paper, and then some bungee cords to hold it in place. So those bees should stay nice and warm, and they should have plenty of honey to survive the winter. The electric fence, I've removed the battery for the season. Any bear around here usually now hibernating at this point. The raised garden beds, I've removed all the tomatoes, pepper plants, and other plant life that was in there, and I've just basically turned over the soil and just let it set for the winter, and it'll be ready again in the springtime without me having to do a heck of a lot of work to clean it up. Again, in the front yard, taking out all the leaves. That was over about 5 different days of work, because the leaves just kept coming down throughout the fall. I always like to make sure we don't have a pile of leaves, not just on the lawn, but these leaves get stuck in the driveway, they get frozen in the ice. Even though I snow blow it, as soon as the snow hits, we wind up having leaves kind of permanently embedded into the ice if I don't take care of the leaves in the fall. We also had our whole house generator serviced to make sure that the oil was clean and filters are clean and that it's ready to go in the event we need it. Similarly on the propane tanks, they're full and ready to go if we do need an extended period of time without electricity, we've got the backup generator to keep us going. There are the other sections of the dock out of the water. Also have out the jet ski ramp as well. Here are the other sections of the wood decking for the dock. Again, I stack them neatly one on top of the other, basically to minimize the amount of exposure that the majority of the decking sections get from ultraviolet lights and rain and water. Another thing we've done is we've winterized the irrigation system. Basically, we've blown out all the pipes, all the plumbing, if you will, around the yard, and capped off the ends of the irrigation system so no mice or chipmunks can get in. And I've double wrapped the pump itself. The pump is hardwired into some electrical wiring here, so I leave it out all year, but I wrap it in plastic, and then I wrapped it in a tarp and duct tape it up, and then tie it up with a rope to make sure that no moisture gets in there, and potentially, or any critters get in there to cause any damage. And again, you can see here, virtually all the leaves are gone off the yard. The dock section that stays on land is attached through some rope up to the top of this tree, or this tree branch, basically just to keep it out of the water and away from any ice that may wind up protruding upwards. On the roof, pretty much I've gotten all the leaves off the roof. There is one section up there I can scrape off a branch. It looks like it's got some leaves caught in that, but other than that, it's okay. With the deck, everything has been taken off the deck except for the gas grill. We still use it during the winter months, but all of the tables and other chairs and accessories that are typically out on the deck during the summer months, all been stored away in our detached garage. There's some of the elevated sprinkler heads here and here. Again, they've all been blown out to make sure that we have no water sitting in the project I don't want to ever do again. I've also removed all of the hoses from outside the house and drained them and stored them away in our detached garage, so we have no concern of having damaged hoses, or if I do decide to use them on a warm January day, in case we do get one, I can use them without having to unthaw them first. Also, another thing that I do, usually every 2 to 3 years, I didn't do it this year because we just did it like last year, is empty the septic tank. We have our own septic system, septic tank, holding tank here, a leach field way back there. So every second or third year I have a septic crew come out and I dig the hole out and they suck out the contents in the holding tank. But you definitely don't want to have to deal with that type of problem in the middle of the winter time when the ground's frozen. So I like to do that in the fall to make sure that I don't have any issues in the winter time. The other thing I do is I swap out the lawnmowers for the snowblower. I make sure I change the oil on the snowblower, make sure it's fueled, and run it for a few minutes to make sure it's going to start. Last thing you want to do is not have it start during the middle of the winter months and then find yourself having to shovel the driveway. So those are the things I do to effectively winterize the yard around my house for the upcoming winter. If I wasn't living here, traditionally what I've done is I've kept the heat running and the pipes full in the house, and basically I have a system that'll call me in the event there's a water leak. But if I was in a smaller cottage, I'd probably drain the pipes and turn the heat off and just let it stay cold throughout the winter months. But on a home like this, like most of the homes in this lake, they usually keep the heat running throughout the winter. They just have the alarm system set up so that in the event there is a water leak or there's loss of heat, that they immediately get called so they can go service the boiler or furnace system they've got. Anyways, hope that gives you some ideas on what you should do in regards to winterizing your yard and winterizing your home, particularly if you have a vacation home in a colder climate. Anyways, if you like this video, make sure to click on the like button and subscribe to the channel.